Hello everyone, welcome back to English Unlocked. I'm Peter, and today we're diving into one of the most practical skills every English learner needs: how to talk about your day naturally in English. Have you ever felt stuck, not knowing what to say when someone asks, "How was your day?" or "What did you do today?" Don't worry, this video will fix that. In this lesson, you'll learn 3 powerful things. First, the exact phrases and sentence patterns native speakers use every day. Second, how to organize your story so it sounds smooth and natural: morning, afternoon, evening, night. And third, how to add feelings and emotions so your English sounds alive, not robotic. Stay with me until the end, because I'll share a quick daily speaking routine that can completely change the way you speak English. If you enjoy clear, step-by-step English lessons like this, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. It really helps the channel grow and brings you more lessons every week. Ready? Let's unlock your English together. Hello, my friend. Today, I want to tell you about my first day learning English. It was a long time ago, maybe 10 years. I remember I felt so nervous. My hands were cold, and my heart was beating fast. The teacher said, "Hello, what is your name?" I froze. I didn't understand. I just smiled and said, "Yes." Everyone laughed, and I wanted to hide under the table. But then the teacher smiled and said, "It's okay. Let's try again." That small moment changed everything for me. I learned that mistakes are not bad. They are part of learning. If we never make mistakes, we never grow. After class, I walked home and thought, maybe English is not so scary. I opened my notebook and wrote my first English sentence. "My name is back." It was simple, but it made me feel proud. So my friend, if you are starting today, don't be afraid. We all begin from zero. Step by step, word by word, you will get better. And one day you will look back and smile, just like me. After my first class, I still felt shy. Sometimes I wanted to stop learning. English was hard and I made many mistakes. I remember one day I said, "I am boring," instead of "I am bored." My friends laughed again, and I felt so small inside. But that night, I watched a video of a person speaking English so well. He was from my country too. I thought, wow, if he can do it, maybe I can too. That moment gave me hope. It was like a small light in the dark. From that day, I started to learn not only for school, but for myself. I wanted to talk to people from other countries. I wanted to travel, to see the world, to understand songs and movies. Every time I got tired, I remembered my dream. It made me stand up again. I also wrote small notes on my wall. Don't stop. You can do it. You are learning every day. Those words helped me when I felt sad or lazy. Learning English is not only about words. It is about the reason why you want to learn. When you find your why, you find your power. And that power will take you very far, my friend. After I found my reason to learn English, I started to change my way of learning. Before, I wanted to learn everything fast. I wanted to speak like a native in 1 month. But of course, that never happened. I felt tired and lost. Then I told myself, "Hey Peter, don't rush. Just take small steps." So, every day I did something simple. One day I listened to an English song. Another day I watched a short video. Sometimes I only learned 5 new words. It was not much, but it was something. And you know what? After 1 week, I felt a little better. After 1 month, I understood more words in movies. After 3 months, I could talk a little without fear. I didn't become perfect, but I became more confident. There were still days I didn't want to study. Days when I felt lazy or busy. But I told myself, it's okay, just do one small thing today. Even 5 minutes was fine. Because small steps every day are better than big steps one time. When you learn English, don't think about how far. Think about what now. 1 word today, 1 sentence tomorrow, it all adds up. That's how real progress happens, slow but real. And when I look back, I smile. Because all those small steps made a big change in my life. After some time, I learned one big secret. Listening is the key. When I started, I didn't listen much. I only read books and did grammar exercises. But when people talked to me, I didn't understand anything. I felt lost, like the words flew too fast. One day, I changed my plan. I told myself, Peter, stop reading for a while. Just listen. So I listened every day. I listened on the bus, when I walked, even when I cooked. At first, I understood almost nothing. But I kept going. Little by little, my ears got stronger. I started with easy podcasts and short videos. I repeated the same ones again and again. At first, I only caught 1 or 2 words. Then, a few weeks later, I could understand full sentences. That made me so happy. I learned that listening is not only about hearing words. It's about feeling the rhythm, the tone, the music of English. When you listen a lot, your brain starts to remember without trying. You start to think in English without translation. Now, I listen every day, even just 10 minutes. It feels like feeding my brain good food. If you listen a little each day, I promise you will grow fast. It's not magic, it's practice. Listening changed everything for me. It made English come alive. And that's when I really started to feel the language, not just study it. After I listened a lot, I wanted to speak. But oh, it was scary. Every time I tried, my heart beat fast. I was afraid of making mistakes. I thought people would laugh at me again. For a long time, I stayed quiet. I only listened and read. But one day, I met a friend who was also learning English. He said, "Let's just talk. No judgment." So we started to speak together. Simple words, short sentences. We made many mistakes, but we also laughed a lot. It was fun, not scary. Slowly, I began to enjoy speaking. I realized that mistakes are not bad. They are teachers. Every time I said something wrong, I learned something new. And when people understood me, even a little, I felt so happy. That feeling gave me confidence. I also started to talk to myself in English. When I walked, I described what I saw. The sky is blue. The dog is cute. It sounded silly, but it helped so much. Because the more you speak, the more natural it feels. If you wait until you are ready, you will never start. You don't need perfect grammar to speak. You just need courage. Say small things. Say them often. And one day you will realize you are really speaking English. So, my friend, don't be afraid. Open your mouth. Your English will not be perfect, but it will be alive. After I started to speak more, of course, I made many mistakes. Sometimes people corrected me. Sometimes they just smiled and didn't say anything. At first, I felt bad. I thought, why can't I speak like them? But one day, my teacher told me something that changed everything. He said, Peter, mistakes mean you are learning. If you never make mistakes, it means you never try. That hit me so hard. I realized that every mistake was a small step forward. So I began to see mistakes as my friends, not my enemies. When I said something wrong, I wrote it down. Later, I checked how to say it better. Then I used the correct sentence again next time. Each time I did that, my English grew a little stronger. There were still days when I felt embarrassed. One time I said, I'm interesting, instead of, I'm interested. Everyone laughed and I laughed too. It was okay, because now I will never forget that difference. I learned that English is not about being perfect. It's about being brave, trying, and learning from every small moment. Mistakes are not the end. They are the beginning of understanding. So now, when I teach others, I always say, make mistakes proudly. They show you are on the way. After I learned to accept my mistakes, I wanted to find more fun ways to learn. That's when I discovered the magic of reading and watching. Books and movies became my teachers and my friends. At first, I started with small stories for children. The words were easy, and I could understand most of them. I read one page, then I looked up the words I didn't know. Sometimes I drew pictures to remember them. It was slow, but I enjoyed it. Then I began to watch English movies and shows with subtitles. At the start, I only read the subtitles. But after some time, I tried to listen more and read less. I paused when I didn't understand and repeated the lines. I even spoke along with the actors. It was fun. One day, I watched my favorite movie without subtitles. I couldn't believe it. I understood almost everything. That moment made me so proud. It felt like all my small efforts were finally working. Reading and watching helped me learn natural English. How people really talk, how they joke, how they feel. It was not just about words. It was about culture, emotions, and stories. So if you are tired of studying from books, try this way. Read something you like. Watch something you love. Enjoy it and let English slowly enter your mind. Learning doesn't have to be hard. Sometimes it can be magic if you let it be. After I found fun in reading and watching, I learned one more important thing: routine. Because even when you love something, if you don't do it often, you will forget. English is like a plant. If you water it every day, it grows. If you stop, it slowly dies. So, I made English part of my life. Every morning, I listened to one English podcast while I brushed my teeth. During lunch, I watched a short English video. Before sleep, I read 2 or 3 pages of a small book. It became my habit, easy and natural. At first, I had to remind myself, but after a few weeks, it felt strange not to study. Even 5 minutes a day made a big difference. Sometimes I was tired or busy, but I still did something small. Because I knew that practice keeps the door open. I didn't need to study for hours. Just a few minutes every day kept my English alive. And slowly I saw changes. I could understand faster, speak with less fear, and remember words longer. One time, I stopped for a week. When I came back, I forgot some things. That's when I truly understood. Consistency is stronger than motivation. So if you want to improve, make English part of your daily life. Don't wait for the perfect time. Start small. Do it again tomorrow. And one day, you'll realize English is not something you study, it's something you live with. After I built my daily routine, I realized something was still missing. I was learning alone too much. It felt quiet, and sometimes I lost my energy. So, I started to look for people who also loved learning English. At first, I joined a small online group. We met once a week and talked about simple topics: food, travel, daily life. Everyone made mistakes, but no one cared. We laughed, helped each other, and learned together. It felt so good to speak without fear. Then, I joined an English club in my city. We met at a cafe every Sunday. We played games, shared stories, and sometimes even sang English songs. It didn't feel like studying, it felt like living. I made real friends there from many countries. Being part of a community gave me power. When I felt tired, they encouraged me. When I wanted to quit, they said, "Don't stop, Peter, you can do it." Their words pushed me forward. I learned that learning English is not a solo journey. It's easier and more fun when you do it with others. You can learn from their mistakes, and they can learn from yours. You grow together. So, if you're learning alone now, try to find your people. Join a group, a class, or even an online chat. Because when you share your English with others, you don't just practice, you connect. And that connection makes the journey beautiful. After many years of learning English, I finally understood something important. English is not just a goal, it is a journey. And this journey can be long, sometimes hard, but also very beautiful. In the past, I always wanted to be fluent fast. I looked at others and thought, they speak better than me. But now, I don't compare anymore. Because I learned that every person has their own speed, their own story. When I look back, I see how far I have come. From being shy and scared, to speaking freely with people from all over the world. Wow, it feels amazing. I remember all the small steps. Listening every day, making mistakes, reading simple books, joining English clubs, talking with friends. Each moment was a part of my story. Each step made me stronger. Now, I enjoy English in my daily life. I listen to songs, watch movies, read short stories, and sometimes I even think and dream in English. It feels natural, not forced. So, my friend, if you are learning English now, don't rush. Don't be sad if you make mistakes or forget words. It's all part of the journey. Enjoy every small win. Your first sentence, your first chat, your first laugh in English. Because one day, you will look back and smile. And you'll realize you didn't just learn English, you lived it.